Intermountain West, and we're going to hand that snow off to our friends in the Great Lakes. So some of our top stories, yeah, that snow moving eastward for the next few days. We'll talk about your weekend. El Nino sets temperature records. A great article on our weathernetwork.com website that I'd love for you to go and read, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So Thanksgiving outlook today. We'll talk about that with Dr. Doug Gillum later on. I want to go to the front on the eastern seaboard because that's the same one that brought quite a bit of flooding to Atlanta, Georgia the last 24 hours, now pushing through the Carolinas and in through the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. So let's go to the model data, and you can see that there's some heavy rainfall for the Delmarva region up through D.C., New York, Boston, Portland. Everybody's going to get some possible weak thunderstorms, with the very least some rain before you start to clear out for the weekend. Now the snow, you can see that creeping into Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland. Everybody's going to get on that snow action. Speaking of snow, the Intermountain West looking at some heavy accumulations, potentially maybe 6 to 10 inches for much of the northern Cascades. Snow levels around 3,000 to 6,000 feet, depending exactly where you live. But we're looking at, yeah, quite a bit of snow, the Bitterroot mountain ranges into the Grand Tetons through Wyoming. All of those regions, make sure you're safe out on those roads. Take it slow. And then we clear out, and high pressure really does settle in for many. And then it's all about the Great Lakes snowfall. So there's the accumulation for the west. And you can see through Missoula and Billings and really right through northern Oregon, as I mentioned, and then in through Omaha, Nebraska again, and in through the Great Lakes. So this is Saturday as we see system snow, the first significant snowfall for our friends in the Great Lakes. So Detroit heads up, Milwaukee, Chicago, Cleveland, Ohio, Cincinnati, all going to be getting into some snow. Temperatures in the Great Lakes, a lot colder, 30, 37, 31 for Chicago. So speaking of temperatures, well, did you know temperatures in the Central Pacific are now 3 Celsius? We measure that in Celsius for the first time in, well, a quarter century since measurements have been taken. That's a meteorologist, Scott Sutherland, that put that stat together. You can learn more at theweathernetwork.com. Highly encourage you to learn more about that article because it's really interesting to learn about El Nino and how it might affect our winter. A lot of comparisons to the winter of 1997 being made. So we'll talk about that. Atlanta, Georgia, here's looking at you, where you had quite a bit of rainfall, heavy downpours in the last 24 hours. Roads were slick for sure. You had to take it slow. And we'll be back with much more, including your long-range forecast. And of course, I'll talk to Dr. Doug Gillum about how your Thanksgiving weekend is looking. Stay with us.